season, or did the roster rollout change your mind? Unrivaled, the player-led 3v3 women's basketball league co-founded to be must-see TV, just announced its final roster for Season 2. The rollout was teased like a blockbuster reveal. Mystery, momentum, and talk of major announcements with just a couple of roster spots left. Fans waited. Media primed stories. Social feeds braced for a head-turning name that would stick a flag in this league's future. Then the last wave of signings dropped. Ari McDonald, Rebecca Allen, and Dominique Molona. If you expected seismic, it felt familiar. Respect to all three, each is a real pro who can hoop. But if you build suspense like you're unveiling Beyoncé and deliver solid rotational talent, you're going to hear disappointment. That's not on the players. That's on the pitch. Look down the list and you'll see plenty of quality. Brianna Stewart is there. Kelsey Plum is there. Chelsea Gray is there. There's star pedigree and WNBA championship DNA sprinkled throughout Unrivaled's 48-player slate. On paper, it looks like a hyper-competitive, high-skill 3v3 ecosystem. But paper doesn't sell. Storylines sell. Personalities sell. Cultural gravity sells. And in 2024, women's basketball learned, again, that depth doesn't drive mainstream attention. One catalyst does. Ratings for the WNBA didn't explode because the league suddenly discovered talent. It has had elite players for decades. They exploded because one storyline crossed over. Caitlin Clark. One Compass star pulled casual viewers into the sport. One player made people change their schedules. That's what leagues build around. That's what networks buy. That's what advertisers chase. Unrivaled needed at least one gravitational presence to anchor Season 2. It didn't get her. Not Caitlin Clark. Not Angel Reese. Not Aya Wilson. Not Sabrina Ionescu. The four names that move conversation in women's hoops right now chose not to take part. That isn't a coincidence. It's a verdict. Angel Reese loved Season 1. Her words, not ours. On her podcast, she called it refreshing, peaceful, fun, and the first time in a very long time, she could just hoop without noise. Miami. Checks. Good energy. No drama. She glowed when she talked about it. So why didn't she return? Because loving the experience and being paid your value are not the same thing. Reese isn't just a forward. She's a cultural engine. Every clip, every quote, every fit, every face-off generates content. That level of attention is monetizable. It drives reach and revenue. She knows it. Everyone knows it. If you want that power in your league, you compensate it accordingly. That's not entitlement. That's economics. The sense around the league is that the money spread across an expanded roster couldn't stretch to match her worth. That's a miscalculation you can't afford twice. Aya Wilson didn't even flirt with Season 2. 3-time MVP. 2-time champion. The face of the Aces dynasty. She looked at the offering and said no thanks, quietly, professionally, decisively. When a player like Wilson passes, it's not personal. It's structural. It says the model didn't line up with her priorities, her preparation, her brand, or her calendar. It also signals to other stars that the ROI isn't obvious right now. Sabrina Ionescu. She made a fortune in a short Season 1 cameo, checked the box, and went back to her own schedule. There was speculation she'd return on a similar deal. She didn't. As for Caitlin Clark, no one expected her to play, but her silence was loud. She is the central force in women's basketball today. If she endorses something, it grows. If she ignores it, it becomes optional. Clark chose not to attach her name. That says as much as any official statement. To be clear, there's real talent on this roster. Talent worth your time if you care about the game. Kelsey Mitchell can get 30 in any gym on earth. Aaliyah Boston is a franchise pillar and a future Hall of Famer. Lexi Hull became a cult favorite during Indiana's playoff push, blending toughness with timing in ways you notice when it matters most. You'll see Skylar Diggins-Smith on the list, Brittany Griner, Jackie Young, Azura Stevens, Alyssa Thomas, Sata Sabali, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, Ryan Howard, Shakira Austin, Cameron Brink, and more. In a 3v3 setting, with the floor spaced and possession short, these players will put on a show. The basketball will be sharp, fast, and competitive. But there's a harsh reality that undercuts all of this. Good doesn't guarantee viewership. Solid doesn't move streaming deals. You don't win the attention war in a crowded sports landscape with role-player energy, however elite those roles are. You win it with appointment viewing. You win it with a story that makes people show up. Unrivaled needed to land the conversation drivers of the moment, and for different reasons, all of them walked. So why did dozens of other pros commit? Because for most WNBA players, the financial calculus is still unforgiving. The average W salary hovers around $120,000. That's respectable. It's not skip meaningful off-season income money. Without a six-figure offer from a domestic league like Unrivaled, many of these players would spend winters overseas or piecing together training, appearances, and camps. A paid stint in Miami with structure, support, and visibility makes sense. Those players aren't wrong. They're pragmatic. They have agents, brands, commitments, families, and financial goals. They said yes because it was the right offer for where they are and what they need. The ones who didn't return are in a different tier. They have leverage. They have options. They don't have to say yes to anything that isn't structurally sound and financially compelling. And that's exactly why Unrivaled needed them. When your pitch to investors and fans is, "Look who's here," and the biggest names leave you on read, you're in trouble. The league's messaging was predictable, productive talks are ongoing, players need time to make big decisions. We respect every athlete's process. Translated, that often means the money didn't match expectation or the calendar didn't fit the priorities of the players who drive demand. That's not spin. That's the scoreboard. None of this is to say Unrivaled can't thrive. It can. If the basketball pops, and it should, hardcore fans will tune in. If they build a better content ecosystem around the league, viewers will get invested. But it's important to acknowledge where Season 1 had advantages that Season 2 doesn't. In Year 1, curiosity does half your marketing. The 3v3 format felt fresh. The Miami backdrop added spectacle. Angel Reese's personality fueled conversation. Sabrina Ionescu's participation brought mainstream press and sponsor interest. Pastel dunks, clear runways, and carefully engineered highlights were enough to generate clips that traveled. That works once. You can't build a league on manufactured viral moments. Fans can smell choreography. Remember Brittany Griner's orchestrated runway dunk? It went everywhere, but it didn't tell people to come back. Caitlin Clark didn't need anyone to clear the lane. She pulled up from the logo and lit up the country. Authentic brilliance beats curated virality every time. The business side is where the pressure builds. Investors put millions into Season 1 and expected scale in Season 2. More star power, bigger audiences, stronger partnerships. Instead, the league expanded from 36 to 48 slots, which stretched the same pool of money across more players. That's great for participation. It's bad for star economics. When your cash has to reach farther, you cut into the amounts it takes to keep the personalities that move the needle. Investor confidence isn't sentimental. It's signals-based. If a player like Angel Reese praises your environment but walks, the signal is not enough. If Sabrina Ionescu is paid handsomely and still doesn't return, the signal is once was enough. If Aya Wilson and Caitlin Clark won't even entertain the call, the signal is try again later. Do that math and you'll see why the people who wrote checks are nervous. All of this puts a sharper focus on Unrivaled's founders and the promise baked into their pitch. Nafisa Collier and company set out to create a player-first ecosystem, a league built for athletes, by athletes, that would keep talent stateside and build something future-facing. It's an admirable mission. It's also brutally difficult. Player Run only works when the right players are on your poster. Athlete empowerment wins when empowered athletes choose your platform. Consciously or not, Unrivaled tried to align with Caitlin Clark's rise. Interviews and media tours laced her name through conversations about the league's future. But alignment only works when the star aligns back. Clark didn't. She refused without saying a word. The vacuum that leaves can't be filled by effort alone. So what does Unrivaled actually have going for it right now? Plenty, if it leans into what it is instead of what it isn't. Basketball quality won't be a problem. 3-on-3 opens the game. Positional versatility matters. Guards like Kelsey Mitchell will cook. Bigs like Aaliyah Boston will dominate edges of the glass and carve out space. Shooters like Kelsey Plum will stretch the floor. Creators like Chelsea Gray will break it. With the right production package, tight storytelling, and smart scheduling, they can build a dedicated audience. But it will be a basketball audience. If they're still chasing cultural scale without the cultural center of gravity, they're setting themselves up to miss expectations again. There's a larger truth here about women's sports that gets lost when people talk about formats and innovation. Growth is real. It's staggering in places. Sold-out arenas. Mega sponsorships. Broadcast records falling. Those trends didn't happen because people discovered a math trick. They happened because the right stars arrived in the right moment with the right stories. The Stanford Dynasty. South Carolina's Empire. The Aces' back-to-back tour de force. And Caitlin Clark's inescapable aura. You can build a new platform. You can raise new funding. But you cannot skip the part where a star makes people care. Not in men's sports. Not in women's sports. Not anywhere. If Unrivaled wants to be part of where the game is going, it will have to make some hard decisions in year 2 and 3. Does it right-size the roster to concentrate resources around top-line talent? Does it build around a few recognizable faces and let the rest of the league compete for breakout status? Does it prioritize production that follows real personalities rather than trying to create them in a content lab? Does it accept being a high-end basketball product for a highly engaged audience and stop promising cultural earthquakes it can't deliver without the one player who creates them? None of this is a funeral. It's an honest inventory. The players who said yes will deliver basketball worth your time. The coaches will scheme. The highlights will pop. Miami will look like $1 million on camera. But the reaction to the roster reveal tells you everything about where attention is right now. Fans don't follow formats. They follow heroes and villains. They follow drama and arcs. Unrivaled had a chance to bring back the personalities who changed the temperature of a room. They didn't. That makes the season optional for people who weren't going to watch for pure hoops alone. If that sounds harsh, it's only because the stakes are high. Startup leagues don't get unlimited time to figure it out. Investors get impatient. Networks want ratings. Fans need a reason to commit. When 4 of the most influential women in the sport decide against your platform, Angel Reese, Aya Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark, it's not personal. It's a market signal. And right now, the signal reads, rebuild your story. Will you watch Unrivaled this season? Do you think the league should have consolidated the roster to keep the biggest names? Should they pursue Caitlin Clark in 2026 with a blank check, or build a sustainable product that doesn't live and die on one star's availability? Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, and want more coverage of women's basketball, the WNBA, college stars making the leap, and the business decisions shaping the game, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications.